Good morning, beautiful people. I'm Alex and this is Gingerhead & Co, my sewing vlog. Today I want to talk about Tilly's newest book, Make It Simple. I'm sure that plenty of you might have bought the book and some of you are not going to, and I'm not going to try and convince you to buy anything. If you don't want the book, that's fine. You don't need the book. I did hesitate whether I needed another book with simple patterns, but I've got all Tilly's books, so the first two as well, and I thought it's a small collection, so it would be a shame not to have the third one. And I like Tilly. I want to support Tilly because I think if we don't support independent creators, designers, they are just going to disappear, and then we are going to only have the big companies, a monopoly of big companies, and we are not going to be able to make our own choices, and I don't want that. And very often when a small business collapses, people are surprised, but well, that's due to us, so either we support or we don't. And also Tilly generally, she fills in the gap. Her niche has always been patterns that are quite simple but interesting, aimed at beginners, and she is absolutely perfect at writing instructions that are suitable for beginners, so everybody can make Tilly's patterns. Whether you like them or not is another matter, but you will always succeed. If you're more experienced, you will probably not need the detailed instructions, but it's always worth reading the tips and little tricks, because you can always learn something. And I really like the fact that thanks to Tilly, plenty of people started sewing, and it's not exclusive, so it kind of makes sewing approachable and understandable for everyone, which is definitely something that I am in favor of. So let's go to the book. Make It Simple, that's simple patterns, and there are 6 main patterns, but each of the main patterns has 4 variations, so you can make at least 24 projects from the book itself. But as always with Tilly's patterns, you can make your own tweaks, and she encourages creativity. She encourages people to make their own versions or make a lot of hacks, and it's brilliant because it makes you feel like you are designing something. You are putting in your own personality, yourself into the pattern, and I love it, and it makes you feel very, very creative. So at least 24 projects, if you like all the patterns, obviously. I'm surprised that I like the book so much, because I thought, well, I've got a lot of simple patterns. I like simple things, but I make a lot of simple things, so I make a lot of simple patterns, and I own a lot of simple patterns. I'm surprised that I like pretty much every pattern, maybe apart from Sophia trousers, because as you might know, I don't like wide leg trousers, and they're just not for me. But I'm sure they're going to be attractive to plenty of people, and I'm sure they're going to be popular. All patterns are in sizes 6 to 24 UK, so the size range is a bit expanded, which is great. You need to trace the patterns off. There are sheets with patterns at the back of the book, and apparently you are going to be able to download PDFs having the book, so USBN number will probably be required, but I can't find it, so it's either not ready yet or I just can't find it yet, because I prefer sticking patterns together than tracing them off. I'm probably one of the weird ones, but I quite enjoy sticking PDFs together. I don't mind. But the tracing off is not very difficult because they're usually like 2 patterns that are overlapping. It's absolutely fine. Sometimes you need to draft your own piece, like a pocket, very simple pieces. So like a pocket or a skirt bit that you have to measure yourself and kind of add and draft like that. But really nothing difficult. So as I said, there are 6 main patterns, and I'm going to put some photos in because I don't think you're going to see very well when I show you in the book. And you can see a lot on Instagram and on Tilly's website. So there are Sophia trousers, Tabitha t-shirt, Suki dress, Bertha cardigan, the one that I'm wearing, Juna pyjamas, and olive pinafore. And I think olive pinafore and Bertha cardigan are going to be my favorite. I also like the Suki dress a lot, and I will probably make quite a few of them, I think. We'll see. You will see. I think I was drawn to the Bertha cardigan immediately. I wanted to make it immediately, and it feels great when you want to make something immediately. Okay, I'm going to show you the Bertha cardigan because I didn't make any changes. So as always with Tilly's patterns, I make size 1 Tilly. so it's size 6 UK. I changed the seam allowance because I construct everything, like my knits are always pretty much always constructed on my overlocker, so I need a smaller seam allowance. The seam allowance is 1.5 centimeters, 5/8 of an inch, and I needed a smaller one, so I changed that, and I changed the neckline, and I'm going to change it even further because I prefer narrower neckbands. But apart from that, well, that's pretty much as is, and I love it, and I think I'm going to make loads and loads and loads of them. You can probably tell that I love it because it's so much my style. It's batwing, and it's very simple to make, as with any raglan sleeve, because it's got a raglan sleeve. Make sure that you make the notches, and make sure that you don't attach like the sleeve as the bodice or something, because the pattern pieces are similar, which Tilly actually points out in her book. There are a lot of tips and tricks and shortcuts, and even if you are an advanced sewer, you might learn something, because Tilly shows various ways of working with fabric, of sewing, various techniques. The book is about £24. You can buy it cheaper. It's well worth the money, because there is always something interesting, another way of explaining things, and Tilly's instructions are really brilliant. There are timings in the book, and I think they're pretty accurate. You don't have to rush, you don't have to race to finish. It will depend on you, on how you personally like to sew, slowly or faster or whatever. But I think they're pretty accurate. I thought I was the only person in the world who times myself, because I time myself. The first time I make something, I time myself, because it's just in my nature. I time myself doing anything. But I thought that was the weird one, the one that just does it. But it turns out that Tilly thinks it's not a bad idea. I'm justified in my timing habit. Okay, so I cover stitched a lot. So I cover stitched the band. I've already worn it for a couple of hours. So it should probably be pressed before I show it to you, but that's it. So I cover stitched everything because I just do. So I changed the way I sew the cardi because I just do. But then, as I said, if you're slightly more advanced, you don't have to follow the instructions. You can use your own shortcuts, your own tried and tested methods to create something that looks good. I've already cut another one, so I'm going to have more, and I think I'm going to have loads of them, loads really, because I think it's perfect for me. It's just something. I love cardigans, I love batwing sleeves, I love raglan sleeves, so it's like it's got everything you need. And as always with Tilly's patterns, there is not that much fitting that goes terribly wrong. I mean, bottoms for me, Tilly's bottoms never ever fit me, but that's pretty normal. Not that many bottoms fit me. So if I make the pyjamas, I probably will make the pyjamas, but I will have to change the trousers, and I know that because my crotch is totally different. And if I use the pattern, they will probably end up somewhere here, under my bust. But I'm ready, I'm prepared. As I said, there were loads of tips. I haven't read the book thoroughly yet, but there are loads of tips. And what I loved, I really, really loved that, there is a mini tutorial for making thumb holes in your cuffs, and I made the same tutorial, well, almost the same method. I mean, there is only that many ways that you can make thumb holes in your cuffs. So it's, well, similar. I just cut my thumb holes a bit further because I prefer that. That's just a personal thing. And she also mentions sewing without pins. Also, it's because, well, sometimes I feel ostracized because I don't want to use pins, and I've never wanted to learn using pins, sewing using pins. I prefer to base something if I'm not sure and I don't have time to kind of try and use the industrial method of holding the fabric in a specific way. But I always thought that will slow me down. So I was pretty happy to see that she mentions that, and she gives you some resources to use. At the back of the book, you'll find some interesting things, like the blueprint classes that I personally took, and I think they were great. So, well, it's a great book. I'm not going to tell you to buy it because I'm not sponsored by anyone. I just wanted the book, so I bought the book. I mean, I wanted to support Tilly, and I wanted British designers to also be noticed, to kind of exist, to have the possibility to grow. Because sometimes we forget that we clients are important in the process. We need to stop being stingy sometimes and buy something that we would want to have in the future. So, well, that's my reasoning behind buying the book, which I don't regret at all, because I think that's the best value for money. So I'm very happy with the book. Have you bought the book? If you have, what have you been making, or what's going to be your first project? Are you excited, or is it just me? I know that some people find it really weird that people get so excited about simple projects or about something new on the market, but I do, and this is my type of personality. I get excited easily. And I got excited with what I'm going to make from the book. I think Juki dress is going to be my next make. And obviously I'm going to make more Bertha cardigans because I like them so much. If you bought the book and you have some plans, let me know. That my curious nature. And I think I'm going to make the video short. So thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye.